We are live. Let's see here. Ah, okay, I do see it. And let's start it off with the synthesizer improvisation. Oh, that doesn't look good. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, it looks like my video is choppy. Let's see. You can hear me talk, but is the video okay on your end, guys? Because if it's not, I'm gonna shut this mess down, come back. Okay. Huh. Odd. Okay. I'm gonna trust you guys. All right. Oh, let's go back to my normal setup, and you'll be able to listen to me. I'll be able to talk to you. And hello, my name is Bill, as you can see right down there. And you are watching Bill's Box of Sound, and it's a good day. It is a good day, yes. I'll be talking to you tonight about stuff. But first, let's say hello to all my friends in the chat room. Thumb Finger, good to see you, dude. Nate, thank you so much. And we got Janice there. Good evening. Let's see. Yeah, for a short time, the microphone wasn't on, but I was trying to do the infinite echo thing at the very beginning and try kind of do a faux Frippertronics thing with the synthesizer, and for some reason it wasn't coming through my system. But if you're able to see me and hear me, that's the important stuff. DJ Trish, love goddess of the vital community. Hello there. Good to see you as always. All right. Mark Patrick Bihar. Yes. Okay. All things good. Audio good. Yes. Good. 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 Better. Best. I trust you folks. Yes, I do, DJ Trish. And let's see. Oh, fantastic. Let's see. Well, Janice says, oh, wait, wrong one. Here we go. I just purchased Fearless by Taylor Swift, and all I need now is self titled, Folklore, and Reputation. Yeah. I do enjoy Taylor Swift. I Some of her records just don't hit me right. I mean, they just seem like endless lyrics going on without any sort of memorable melody. You may greatly differ with me on that point if you're a Taylor Swift fan, and that's cool. But Reputation, I think, is a brilliant techno pop record. Uh, see, the other albums I have by her, I've got Red, got 1989, I got Midnights, which I think is pretty damn cool. Um, I got one or two more. Anyway. Well, yeah, Trish, come on. Derek Vaughn, Derek Higgins has been saying that about you for years and years and years, that you are the love goddess of the vinyl community. So wear that tiara with pride, my friend. It's good. Because you do spread love all along the vinyl community. Never a negative word coming out of your mouth. You're always friendly to everybody, and everybody should be friendly with one another. Be happy with one another. All that other good stuff. And ah, so what a week this has been. Woohoo! Um, but good things are happening. I put out a video this week, which was a conversation with a mastering engineer, Dave Polster from Well Made Music. He's the guy who was responsible for cutting the master lacquer on my record Meh, by Spudlock. And I was so happy to talk to him about all manners audio and mastering and manufacture of records and things like that. So, and let's see here. I didn't say I did not say wear a bikini. No, 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 no. Whatever crown you want to wear. Whether it be a baseball cap or whatever. Anyway, because and look, nobody has spread more VCLT in the history of the vinyl community than Trish. That is absolutely right. I could just reach up here, grab a pile of discs, and there are more than these. Okay, we've got wonderful playlists, mixtapes sent out by DJ Trish. Nothing but oldies. Forever in Love. Yeah, come on. Do you believe in love? Christmas 2023. Gonna be spinning that tune. Cocktail Hour. We got Electric Grooves number 2 and number 1. So, yeah, come on. Nate is correctamundo. So, yeah, that's it. You are one of the people who spreads love through music in the vinyl community. So, we should all be as cool as Trish is. So there. Not gonna just accept the accolades. I know it's tough when somebody says something good about you. A lot of times you say, "Oh, no, oh, no, no, not me, not me. No, I'm sorry. I can't possibly be that nice." But you know what? It feels good. Accept it with gratitude. I love it. Anyway, what am I doing starting out a live stream without pouring the ceremonial Diet Coke? Not sponsored by anything. But hey, this is the stuff that I dig to drink. Oh, listen to that lovely stuff. Ah. Nice. All right. So I got some things I want to talk about tonight. Something that I can't really talk about too much, but today I got to talk to and record a podcast with one of my favorite YouTube personalities. I'm very excited about it. It's going to end up being an episode of the Zappacast. So listen to that when it comes out. I'll tell you guys when it happens. But you may notice I am wearing a hat that says Primus on it. Around 1999, I wore a baseball cap that had this on it. And no, it's not Rick Beato. Although I was watching one of his videos a little earlier. He put out a video today, which is basically saying that all of any music composer's best stuff just about always comes out in their 20s or late 20s. Can't say for sure, but you never know. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you who I talked to today, but it'll be apparent in the near future. Anyway, so look at this Primus. Why am I wearing a Primus hat? Oh, this is some merch from their most recent tour. I saw them at Blossom Music Center this past summer, and it was a great show. They opened up with Spaghetti Western, and that song is powered by the unbelievable of Herb. That's his nickname, but his name is Tim Alexander, and he is the drummer of Primus, and he's not anymore. Okay, so let's go through the history of Primus. I may have done something like this once before, but I feel like doing it again. I'll do this as quickly as possible. Their very first record, Suck on This, a live album that was made in 1989 in Berkeley, California. And this album existed in the first place because Les Claypool got a loan from his dad to make this, and I think they made like 100 copies or 1,000 copies, and they sold like wildfire. And if you are unaware about Primus, and I know, yeah, a lot of you folks are Primus fans. I know Thumpfinger is deep serious, just like me, a serious Primus fan. And this is their first studio album, Frizzle Fry. Not the original version. I'd love to get an original version, but that's a little rich for my blood. But I got a brown copy of the re-release, which has covers of 2 Residents songs on there. So who is in Primus? Well, at the time of these records, and when I saw them on their past tour, it was, well, it's always been Les Claypool on bass and vocals. Okay. And the guitar player is Larry Lalonde, aka Lur. The bass is the lead instrument for the most part, and Larry's guitar is the accompaniment, although he does play some solos. It's a power trio, guitar, bass, drums, but the bass is the forefront instead of the guitar. Sailing the Seas of Cheese, their first major label album. They were the first act signed to Interscope Records. And this is a re-release that was done on the Plain label, which don't sound that good. I'd love to get an original of that. Although I do have the remix of this album that was done later on by Les. Still doesn't sound as good as this cheapo repress, which I bought at a Primus concert. Go figure. All right. And then in between albums, let's see. They put out this EP called Miscellaneous Debris. and they ran Interscope's website. Well, yeah. Do you remember the old primussucks.com? That was a great website. Lots of fun. They even had a Primus trivia game on there. And whenever you hit the answer to a question, it would play a little bit of a Primus tune. Um, anyway, so yeah, great albums like The Unbelievable, Pork Soda, and Tales from the Punch Bowl. Not the original cover. Yes. All right. So after Tales from the Punch Bowl, something happened. Tim Alexander quit the band. Um, Not completely sure why back then, but I guess that he just, you know, didn't want to be drummer for Primus anymore. And they got this new guy, Brian Mantilla, who also goes by the name of Brain. Now, Tim Alexander, unbelievable, wonderful drummer. I love the way he drums. And we were sad to see him leave the band. And then they brought Brain in, and he was wicked good in a different way. He could play all the old Primus songs, but then they had new songs. Yeah, they put out this album called the Brown Album. Oh, I love this record. This was recorded on a TX Tascam portable studio. This is the big one, the 8-track one that had reel-to-reel tape inside of it. And this is a classic lo-fi album that actually sounds unbelievably good on vinyl. And this is the first album that Brain was the drummer on. One of my favorites. It might still be my favorite Primus album, depending on what day I spin it. All right. Then there was a another thing, kind of like Miscellaneous Debris, where they covered some songs, and then they had some live tracks on it as well, called Rhinoplasty. This is the very first vinyl version of it that came out. 2-record set. It's got just about it's got everything that the CD had, plus another couple of extra cuts. Very cool. And then they did one more album with Brain, which was not one of their best, but was still pretty damn good. Anti-Pop. On this album, they had like a different producer on every single track. I mean, Primus was doing most um, of their own producing, but on this album, they had Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, Matt Stone from South Park, Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, Stuart Copeland, who was an Oysterhead. I'll get to that question. Tom Waits, as well as Primus produced songs. This is a pretty fun record. And yeah, I am not completely sure where in this. I think it was right around this time in history that Primus took a break and Oysterhead started up. Now I do have the Oysterhead CD, but I do not have the Oysterhead vinyl, which I know is rare as hell and very, very hard to find, very expensive. But I do have the CD, and I saw Oysterhead live in Cleveland. That's right. Oysterhead was Les on bass and vocals, Trey Anastasio from Fish on guitar, and uh, and he sang a bit too, and he played all sorts of weird things that he uses in Fish concert. And the drummer was Stuart Copeland, most famous for being the drummer of the Police. I mean, come on. Stuart Copeland, you can't get much better than Stuart Copeland as a drummer. And, if you haven't seen any of the interviews that Stuart's been doing lately on YouTube, look for interviews at Stuart Copeland in the last year. You'll get all sorts of great information, entertaining stories about his years with the Police, etc. Also, dig into the archives of the Bob Lefsetz uh, podcast. He did a great uh, retrospective interview where he talked about his entire life, growing up, discovering music, going through everything with the Police, and all the stuff he's done afterwards. Stuart Copeland, one really fascinating cat. Okay, so all of a sudden, in 2003, I believe it was, bam, this thing comes out of nowhere. Primus. Animals should not try to act like people. Now, the original of this came out as a CD and a DVD combo, but the first vinyl release of this was put out by Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab exclusively. And for one reason or another, I was unable to get a copy. But this is an EP of 5 songs by Primus. And what happened here? Tim Alexander back in the band and killing it. Yeah. Tim Alexander back in the band and killing it because he is a lethal drummer, laying down the bad beats. Love it. So he was back in the band, made a bunch of tours. They did a tour where the first set was Sailing the Seas of Cheese, and the second set was other Primus songs. They did a tour where they played the entire Frizzle Fry album, and then they played other Primus songs for the second set. It was wonderful. And then Tim quit again. But this time there was a reason for it. Health. Tim had some problems with his heart. I believe he had to undergo open heart surgery to take care of some problems, a valve or something like that. And he he had to drop out of music for a while and recuperate. So do that he did. So we thought, well, if he's going to stay out of music, we understand. Love the guy, no matter what he does. And then Primus did another tour and another album. And the guy who was the very first drummer for Primus, Jay Lane, he was in the drummer's chair. And they did the Green Naugahyde album, which is another really cool record. This one's a 2-record set, but it plays at 45 RPM. Now, this is the original that came out. I bought it when it first came out, and like 10 years later, they re-released it again. They remastered it. It sounded better. Still on 45 RPM. Still on green vinyl. I got both of them. Why? Because I love Primus. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. All right. Yeah. And then let's see. There was a Saving the Seas of Cheese remix, mystery vinyl, 200 gram digital remix by Les. And all I can say is how freaking cool. Yes, indeed. You met Tim on the Animals tour. Excuse me. I got one of the yellow ones. Most of them were black vinyl. Some of them were yellow vinyl. I got one of the yellow ones. I count myself as being lucky. And then, lo and behold, let's see here. Yeah, Primus and the Chocolate Factory with the Fungi Ensemble marks the return of Tim Alexander back to Primus. And they were touring again. Huzzah! Rejoice! Fantastic stuff. This is weird because it's music that was not composed by Primus, but was wildly rearranged by Primus. Yes, these are all the songs that were on the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie written by Anthony Newley. Yeah. Anthony Newley and Leslie Brissus. And pretty cool. This also got re-released 10 years after it came out. I think on chocolate brown vinyl or gold vinyl or something like that. There was a contest at one point in time where there was a golden ticket where if you got the gold vinyl copy, you won tickets to Primus concerts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. All right. And then the last full album that came out from Primus was the Desaturating Seven. This is a concept album. I call this Primus's Rush album because it's very conceptual, very progressive rock type, and pretty neat. It's got 7 songs on it. It's got rainbow splattered colored vinyl, and this is based on a children's book called the Rainbow Goblins. So that was pretty cool. And yes, Tim was still in the drummer's chair. And let's see, this past year, there was a Primus EP of 3 songs, Conspiranoid, which came out. And once again, Tim Alexander in the drummer's chair, white vinyl. Yeah, baby. Okay. So, this week, and I'm going to read this if you haven't heard it already. Let's see. Da 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 da. Primus put out a statement, I believe that a couple days before Halloween. And it reads as follows. From the band Primus. On Thursday, October 17th, we received an email from Tim Herb Alexander expressing that effective immediately, he would no longer be involved with Primus. It came as a complete shock to all of us here in the Primus camp. On the heels of a wonderful spring and summer of touring and some fabulous plans ahead, it has been a bit bewildering for us that Herb would so abruptly opt out. After several attempts to communicate with Herb, his only response was another email stating that he has lost his passion for playing, unquote. As disappointing as that is, we, Primus, respect his choice, and it's forced us to make some tough decisions. I continue. We considered canceling the annual New Year's Eve show, but after much talk, Les and Lur have decided to pivot to an augmented version of Primus featuring members of the Holy Mackerel and Frog Brigade. So, real quick here, let me speak for myself and not Primus. If you don't already know, The Holy Mackerel was the band that was on Les Claypool's first solo album, Highball with the Devil, by Les Claypool and the Holy Mackerel. And the Frog Brigade is a rotating bunch of musicians that play with Les on his solo shows. I saw them in 2000. They toured again, I think, 1 or 2 years ago. And that's that. So, for their New Year's show, it's going to be Primus, um, augmented with members of the Holy Mackerel and the Frog Brigade. Let's go back to the Primus statement. They say, and I quote, "This will be an exciting, special, one-time event." Now, as far as future Primus, the band is looking forward to performing in the Dominican Republic with Tool and others. Danny Carey, who is currently touring with Beat, playing the King Crimson 1980s catalog, has once again graciously offered to fill the drum throne. Man, Danny Carey's going to have a lot of fun playing drums for Primus. Now, for Sasanta, Sasanta is a special project, mostly centered around the celebration of Maynard James Keenan's 60th birthday. And it's a celebration of 3 bands: Primus, Pucifer, and A Perfect Circle. And now they're going to be going on another Sasanta tour with Tool as well. So that's pretty freaking cool. And Danny Carey's going to be drumming for Primus then. And Primus concludes the statement in the email that says details to follow. So, I'm going to hand it over to Thumpfinger for a second, and I'll read from his message in the chat room. I read in Rolling Stone that Tim stated his health and his mental health was being affected, his family life as well, and his heart isn't in it. Okay, I can understand that. Like I said, I can't speak for Tim, but I respect his decision. And on the Primus page, they posted all that stuff that I just read. And I commented, well, I'm sad to see him leave again. And this is the 3rd time he's left. And I'm guessing 3 strikes you're out, or at least in my eyes, I hope he stays out. And I hope that he is happy. And I hope that he has planned for himself financially, and that he does enjoy his life with his family, because I believe he's 60 or 59. And around that time you start to think, how much longer until I retire? But some people, they just want to keep on playing music forever. But Tim, if this works out for you, I'm cool with it. Now, that was my comment on the Facebook page. I commented on that. And the next morning I got a notification on my Facebook. One of the people that liked my comment was Tim himself. So, Tim, we love you. We're going to miss you. But we hope that you stay and live your life and continue on to be happy, because you never know. The next person who drums for Primus may spur Les and Lur on to be, well, they may spark some new creative juices in that miasma of Primus and create more great music. And somebody was talking about Rick Beato before, and I told you that he just put up a video today saying that most people in music put out their best music when they're in their 20s or early 30s. I say it is possible to do better. I mean, there are a lot of artists that peak and then they go downhill and their music just isn't the same. Foo Fighters, for one, put out a bunch of great records, and their last 3 albums have been absolute crap. And now Dave Grohl's hit absolute bottom. He admitted that he had a child with another woman while being married and being a father to a couple of kids, grown up kids. Saw a headline the other day that said that uh, Dave Grohl's divorce settlement is going to wind up costing him literally hundreds of millions of dollars because he's been on a streak for the last 25 years. Then the past few, it's just the music's not like it is anymore. It's just not any good. Not any good. It's really fell down. I mean, still plays great concerts, and he can play all those old Foo Fighters hits, but there comes a point where a lot of people just don't write the music that they used to anymore. Now, Prince, people were saying that Prince had his great time, and then right around the time that he left Warner Brothers, his music went downhill. He put out a couple albums that were kind of little, not that great, but uh, Prince albums that came back and like Musicology and what else? Welcome to America. Um, Great records. And Prince was in his mid 50s when he passed away. So, what are you going to say about that? All right. I've already talked for 42 minutes. Ah! Let's get to some new records here. Why don't we? Okay. So, originally, I didn't have any new records to show this week. And just in the past 48 hours, things changed. And I know I'm going to get some records tomorrow because I'm going to a record fair in Broadview Heights, Ohio. Very excited about that. Um, so yesterday, I was looking around at the Exchange in North Olmsted and didn't find anything I wanted in the new bins. So I started going to the used bins, checking the very bottoms, and I got 2 records in the $3 bin. One is this 12-inch single. And I know somebody out there is saying, oh, new order, Blue Monday. Yep, that's what it is. Blue Monday with the flip side of The Beach. One of the most famous 12-inch singles in history, especially in the UK. Now, I am on the hunt for the perfect copy, or should I say the perfect kiss, of a copy of Blue Monday on 12-inch. Because every copy that I find, I usually buy. But every copy is trashed. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. I mean, I cleaned it up as much as I possibly could. I ultrasonically cleaned it, and but when you get up real close, let's see if I can get this going here. You will see all sorts of scratches in on that record. Yep, scratches, ticks, pops like crazy. Man, look at that thing. This thing has been loved to death. So, why did you buy it again, Bill? Why did you buy it again? Let's take a look at the other 2 copies of The Beach that I have. I'm sorry, Blue Monday. Let's see. Right here. Da, 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 da. Okay, is that it? Is that the one? Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. First, I have a copy that was put out before they were signed to Warner Brothers Quest Records. This is on Factory US. Still not a UK copy. I'd like to get a nice, clean UK copy. But let's look at this one. Let's see in how good of a shape this one is. Ah, yeah, this one is reasonably roached. I don't know if you can see that, but there's lots of little scratcholas on there. I mean, it plays all the way through and it doesn't skip, but there's all sorts of crunchy things. It sounds like somebody in the studio is eating potato chips. So, yeah, that was the first copy I ever bought. And come on, here we go. Here goes one more, probably out of the same run that I bought that came out from the last one, the one that I just got. Take a look at this one, and this one was probably not part of a person's collection, but part of a bunch of records at a disco, and this one's probably the best copy that I got, but it's still a little bit messed up. This great 12-inch single of Blue Monday. So now you're saying, hey, if you really want a good copy of Blue Monday on vinyl, why don't you buy the Substance 2-record set? Oh, I tried when it was re-released, and the record was defective. I had to return it back to Amazon. And then the price went from $30 to $50. So go figure. So that's one new record I got. The other record that I bought yesterday, yesterday, much happier story. $3 for Van Halen 2. I mean, I originally bought my Van Halen stuff on CD, and I only have the first album on vinyl, but now I got the second one. And this one uh, still has the original inner sleeve with the pictures of the guys in the band on it. You know, there's like the 4 hit singles on this and a couple other really cool tunes at Guitar Pyrotechnics on it. But this record, as far as I can tell, is from the first round of the first pressings of this album that came out in 1979. It's got the original catalog number and everything from what I can tell, and this cleaned up nice and sounds wonderful. Played this last night through the old headphones, so very happy for that. So then I go and I watch a recent video from our good friend Michael P. Dawson. Michael P. Dawson, damn you, you make me spend money. He showed his copy of Yes Singles 2, which was just released. It's by Yes, and it's some of their singles released on 12-inch vinyl for the first time. And this is a independent store Rocktober release from Rhino Records. And I'm trying to find a copy of that now, but then since I couldn't order it online right away, I'm gonna have to find a. Let's see, where's my? Here we go. This is the best way to open up records. Carefully, though. I've never cut myself opening up a new record. Now, I may have gotten a paper cut underneath my one of my fingernails, but let's see. I just got this in from Amazon today. Now this is Yes Singles. This is the first of these. This came out last year, and as it says there, woohoo, it's a collection of singles on vinyl for the very first time, featuring Owner of a Lonely Heart, Roundabout, Your Move, and more. So it's got all sorts of single versions and B-sides of Yes songs. And the second volume I'm going to hopefully get soon. Uh, and here is the inner sleeve to that. Got lots of nice pictures of the guys in the band through the different eras of Yes. And is it colored vinyl? No, it is not. But okay, listen. Tell me if you hear this. Oh, you hear those noises? This is why you have to clean your records and sleeve them in plastic sleeves. Because when they come out at the pressing plant, there's dust all over them. Ugh. All right, this one, yeah, I can see little dots of dust and stuff on here. Let's see. Can you see that right there? Look at that speck. Oh, that speck is huge. It's freaking huge. It's got some. Oh, okay. So this has to be cleaned before I listen to it. Okay. But does the world really need another Yes compilation? Well, if you watch Michael P. Dawson's video about it, I say yes. So he explained that this was the first, and now they got Yes Singles 2, which has really, it's got some B-sides. Unless you are as much a completist as Michael is, and have almost all the Yes singles on 45, what a great collection you got, dude. Um, but I've got that CD. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, but he explained that, there are still more Yes singles that are not covered by these two records. Now, that one that I just showed you came out in 2023. The new one that I'm going to try and get this week came out this year, 2024. And Michael was musing in his video. There's still more left that haven't been released. Is there going to be another volume next year? I predict, yes, there will be. And then when they do that, they'll also release a boxed set of all three of them. That's my prediction as to what will happen with that. But very happy to get that. And Michael, you made me spend money. Good job. All right, folks. That is just about the end. It's getting close to 11 o'clock here on the Eastern Coast, and it's almost time for your local news. And hello there, Mr. French. Well, I'm not going to say Mr., Mrs., or whoever they them. French vinyl addict. Good to see you. And I also see Kieran Kelly. Cool. Nice, very nice. Happy to see you here. All sorts of fun stuff here, especially if you're into Frank Zappa or other types of weird music. I talk about it. So yeah, happy to see you here. So next week, let's see what's going on next week as we go on, and we'll do number 1101 next week, a silly millimeter longer for those of you who remember cigarette advertisements. What's happening next week? Okay. Now, Saturdays are tricky. And as you know, hello, North Carolina vinyl picker. Good to see you. Um, as I've explained in the past, on Saturdays, if there is a Ohio State Buckeyes football game, I watch it with my wife. So if it's a later game, I'll be doing an earlier show. If it's, I mean, wait, if it's yeah, if it's a later game, I'll be doing an earlier show. If it's a earlier game, like at 12 noon or something like that, I'll be doing a show at the normal time. I'll try and put the notice up as early as I possibly can that I'm going to be doing stuff. And also, thanks for all the compliments about the Halloween show last week with Roman dressed up as Jack Skellington. We had a great Halloween. Um, I dressed up as my favorite movie host, the Ghoul, and wait a second here. And yeah, I dressed up as the Ghoul like that. I still got my Ghoul shirt on. Well, I got several of these shirts anyway. But yeah, there was one bunch of ladies that came along, and one of the ladies had her little kid in a stroller, like about 2 or 3 years old. This scared the fuck out of that little kid. That child was screaming blue bloody murder, scared to death of me. I felt bad, but I also felt triumphant at the same time that I had accomplished that. But everybody loves Halloween. It's lots of fun. All right. So I'm going to fire up the old synthesizer again now. I'm going to try, pardon me, to bring up the audio again and try and do the Ferpetronics thing. So I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your watching. Hit the old like button. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe so you can watch all the other stuff that comes out on my channel. And for those of you who reside in the United States, I just want to say, please, please, if you haven't done so already, vote. It's a very important thing. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. All I can say is I've already voted. I think I made a good decision because I have a good outlook on the future of this country and democracy, and I think you can tell by that who I might be voting for. But I'm not going to try and swing it to one way or the other. Just please, as Frank Zappa says, well, as he said on a lot of his albums, don't forget to register to vote. Vote like a beast. Vote like your life depended on it. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. So let me bring up another screen and see if I can bring up the audio and do my little fake Ferpetronics here. And let's see, bring up my things. Where is it? Your videos, my videos, their videos. Let's see. I'm going to try and mute the ad that comes up. And yes, music lovers are the coolest people. I had a great time. Hope you did too. So appreciate you much, and I hope to see you next week. So, oh, stop it, Colin Allred. I don't even live anywhere near where I could vote for you. But here comes the audio for finishing the show. Let's see it fold in on itself. That's it, folks. Good night. Thanks very much. Have a great week. See you next time, folks, on episode 101. Thanks very much. Have a great week. See you next time, folks, on episode 101. Thanks very much. Have a great week. See you next time, folks, on episode 101. Thanks very much. Have a great week. See you next time, folks, on episode 101. Thanks very much. Have a great week.